Hello everyone, welcome back to biology classes. So in the topic life processes, we have started with the nutrition, and then the next unit or the part is respiration, where we studied the glucose oxidation or the oxidation of glucose that produces energy, carbon dioxide and water, where the different parts are taken by the different animals. So today in today's class we are going to study the respiratory organs or the respiration process in different organisms like fishes as well as human beings. So as you people know, the organisms or animals have a different organs to uptake or intake the oxygen to release the energy or to break down the glucose. So here in case of terrestrial animals or terrestrial organisms, they intake or they respire or they breathe the atmospheric oxygen which is present in the air. When you come to the aquatic animals, for example fish, in case of terrestrial organisms, the oxygen is available in the air itself. In aquatic animals, as they are present inside the water, they use the oxygen present which is dissolved in the water, that is called dissolved oxygen in the water. So there is an activity for you students. So you go through the activity and send your comments to in the WhatsApp. So aquatic animals, for example fish. Aquatic animal, that is for example fish. You might have seen the respiration or breathing in case of fishes, where the fish takes the oxygen from the mouth. So this is what we call mouth region. Okay, and this is having the fins, and the respiratory organs which are present in the fish, those are gills. In case of bony fishes, these gill slits are covered by the structure called operculum. Covered by the structure called operculum, and this is having the different types of fins: anal fins, pectoral and pelvic fins. That is different thing. So in case of aquatic animals, say for example fish, the air is intake by the structure called mouth through the water. Whenever the fishes take the water through the mouth, where the water from the mouth will expel from the operculum. Operculum is the covering which covers the gills. Gills are the small openings through which the water comes out. Whenever the water from mouth it expels through the operculum, the dissolved oxygen from that water is taken up by the blood vessels, surrounding the, which surrounds the gills. The dissolved oxygen from the water which is taken from the mouth is absorbed by the blood through the blood vessels which surrounds the gills in case of fishes. So terrestrial animals, as they intake the oxygen from the air, the aquatic animals like the fish, they take up the oxygen that is in the form of dissolved, that is called dissolved oxygen. Dissolved oxygen is the oxygen which is respired by the aquatic animals. Aquatic animals like arthropoda and different organisms have different respiratory structures that you will study in the higher classes. So the next thing is, before coming to the human respiratory system, you people should know how the respiratory structures are formed or how they perform their functions during respiration or breathing process in the different animals. So as the complexity of the body structures in the animals is more, they have a different respiratory structures. For example, fish have a gills, then arthropoda like crabs have a book lungs, and different organisms have different respiratory structures. So as the oxygen and carbon dioxide undergo diffusion process during the respiration process, the respiratory surface of that respiratory system will be very thin. So as it is, since it is a very thin structure, that respiratory structure placed within the body of an organism. So that respiratory structure will be well protected by the different structures that we will study in the human respiratory system. So in case of human respiratory system, human respiratory system. In human respiratory system, I have not drawn the complete diagram here. You people may understand by your textbook diagram. So, nostrils, this is having larynx or a sound box. So this is the structure that is mouth. This is what we call trachea. This trachea divisible into two branches called primary bronchi. This primary bronchi again divisible into structures called secondary bronchi. Again from secondary bronchi, these divisible into branches form tertiary bronchi. This tertiary bronchi forms the terminal structures, those are called bronchioles. Terminal structures called bronchioles. These bronchioles have a fine delicated balloon like structures called alveoli. These are called alveoli. And this is the diaphragm. This is the lung, and this lung is externally covered by the bony structures called ribs. So the human respiratory system consists of nostrils, larynx, trachea, primary bronchi, secondary bronchi, tertiary, and bronchioles and alveoli. These are the parts which are involved in the structure called human respiratory system. So through the nostril, the air enters into the respiratory system. In the nostril, you might have observed the fine hair-like structures. These hair-like structures helps to prevent the dust particles or microorganisms which are present in the atmospheric air which we intake. And also this nasal passage is covered by the mucus which traps the microorganisms which are present in the air which we intake. From the nasal passage, this is what we call nasal passage. From the nasal passage, the air enters to the throat region. This throat region where we can see the larynx, or this is also called sound box. This is what we call sound box, which produces the sound. From the throat region through this windpipe, that is called trachea. Trachea is also called windpipe. And what you call for food pipe? That is esophagus. Through the windpipe or trachea, the air enters into the two branches called primary bronchi. From the primary bronchi, the air enters into secondary bronchi. From the secondary, air enters into tertiary bronchi, and from the tertiary bronchi, the small terminals. These terminals are called bronchiole. Bronchiole is the singular and bronchus is the plural word. So these bronchus, bronchiole is covered by the structures, balloon-like structures called alveoli. These alveoli is a plural word and its singular meaning is, or word is, alveolus. And all these structures are situated within the structure that we called lung. Human being have two lungs. Okay. Below the lung there is a dome shaped structure that is called diaphragm. In Kannada we call Vaffe. Okay, this is the outlook of the human respiratory system. So whenever the air passes from the nasal passage, it will undergo filtration process by the structures called hair as well as mucus, which are present in the nasal passage to prevent the dust particle or microorganism. So the process called filtration. That filtered air then enters the throat region through the throat, then it enters the trachea or windpipe. The windpipe is externally covered by the soft bone that is called cartilaginous structure. So the function of this cartilage, which is present on the trachea, that prevents the collapse or which prevents the movement of the trachea. It keeps the continuous movement or the straight structure of the trachea. From the trachea, the air enters, as I told you, the primary bronchi. Bronchi is the plural, bronchus is the singular word. The primary bronchi on either side of the lungs, where the air passes to the secondary, tertiary and so on up to bronchioles. From the bronchiole, the air then enters the balloon-like structures called alveoli. The alveoli in the lungs are supplied with the blood vessels. Alveoli, these are the balloon-like structures, and these balloon-like structures have a epithelium layer. Through this, the oxygen and carbon dioxide will be diffused. So all the alveoli in the respiratory system are supplied with extensive or more number of blood vessels. This is blood vessel and this is alveolus. This is the singular word. This is alveolus. So the human respiratory system in the chest region, which is externally covered by the ribs. Okay. In the front region, covered by bones, and below the lung is protected by the dome shaped structure diaphragm. So the diaphragm, which helps or its movement during the respiration or breathing process, which we will discuss later, and the ribs and which are connected to the bony plate which is present just front of this trachea, that is sternum, and these all the structures protect the lungs by mechanical forces. Whenever the alveolus takes the atmospheric air rich in oxygen and poor in carbon dioxide, and the blood which is coming from the different parts of our body having poor oxygen and more carbon dioxide. Why? Because in the last session only we discussed the breakdown of glucose to produce carbon dioxide and water. Through the diffusion process, the oxygen molecule enters the blood vessel and carbon dioxide molecule from the blood enters into the alveoli. Do people know the definition or the diffusion process? The movement of molecules from higher to lower concentration. Higher concentration means, as I told you, the oxygen molecules are more in atmospheric air and less in blood. So the oxygen molecule enters into the blood, and from the blood the carbon dioxide molecule enters into the alveoli. From the alveoli again the air is expelled out through the expiration process. So this is how the diffusion process of diffusion of carbon dioxide and oxygen takes place. So diffusion, it is only the process which takes place in the alveolar and blood region or blood vessel region. So to reach all the body parts or to supply the oxygen to all the body parts, diffusion process will not succeed. Diffusion process will not succeed. So that human being, in their blood, they have different blood components. In that you may see the RBCs, red blood corpuscles. So why these blood corpuscles are called red blood corpuscles? Because these RBC have the respiratory pigment called hemoglobin. That is called hemoglobin. Okay, before going to discuss how the blood or oxygen and carbon dioxide are transported in the human being, just we will see the inspiration and expiration processes. Students, you only experience or do the experiment, take the air inside and expel the air outside. So during inspiration, whenever you take air inside the body, your chest region will come forward and the diaphragm will undergo this dome shaped structure and ribs will come upward or forward. As a result, the thoracic cavity or chest cavity become expand. Whenever the area is expanded in the thoracic cavity or a chest cavity, the air enters into the lungs through all these parts. Okay, whenever air comes to the alveolar process, the exchange of gases like this takes place. And in expiration process, all the structures like ribs and the chest region and diaphragm come to the normal position. This is how the expiration and inspiration process takes place. So when human expel or inspire or intake or expel the air, the alveolar region reserves some amount of air that is called residual volume. That is called residual volume. This is the volume of air which is present inside the lung after expiration or inspiration, normal inspiration. That will be about 500 ml of air will be present in the alveolar region during the normal expiration or normal inspiration process. Okay, this is about 500 ml of air. So when you come to the hemoglobin, this is the respiratory pigment present in the human body. What is the respiratory pigment? That is hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the human respiratory pigment. Human respiratory pigment. Where it is present? In RBC. In red blood corpuscles, the hemoglobin will be present. So, as the hemoglobin carries the oxygen should have the more affinity towards the hemoglobin. Here, oxygen have affinity towards Hb. Hb means hemoglobin. So about 1 molecule of Hb can carry 4 oxygen molecules. 1 molecule of hemoglobin can carry 4 molecules of oxygen. That is oxyhemoglobin. It forms oxyhemoglobin. Oxyhemoglobin. So this is the how oxygen transport through the blood. And about 100 ml of oxygenated blood can carry and deliver the 5 ml of oxygen to the tissues. About 100 ml of oxygenated blood delivers 5 ml of oxygen to the tissues. So this is how the transportation of oxygen from lungs to other parts of the body takes place. What are the points there? Oxygen combines with the hemoglobin and it forms oxyhemoglobin in the lung region. Wherever the alveoli have the affinity with the hemoglobin which is present in the blood. Through the hemoglobin, the oxygen transportation takes place. Oxygen transportation takes place. Okay. Then how the carbon dioxide transportation takes place in humans? CO2 transportation. CO2 transportation, carbon dioxide transportation. Carbon dioxide will be more in the deoxygenated blood. So this carbon dioxide from the tissue level which is transported to the lungs. This carbon dioxide will be transported through the blood plasma. Because carbon dioxide will be soluble or dissolved in the water content of the blood than the oxygen is. Plasma is the water content which is present in the blood region. This is watery fluid present in the blood. That plasma transports the carbon dioxide from tissue level to alveolar level. So as I told you, about 100 ml of deoxygenated blood 100 ml of deoxygenated blood can carry and deliver 4 molecule of carbon dioxide in the alveolar region. In the alveolar region, write down the points. And when you come to the diffusion process, during the diffusion of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the alveoli and blood. So, as I told you, diffusion cannot meet the supply of oxygen to different parts of the body from the lungs. The diffusion process is not enough to reach all the necessary oxygen, okay, so that our blood have the hemoglobin process, what content in the blood. You might have heard about the lung cancers. So, these lung cancer is due to the smoking. So, as I told you, the upper part of the respiratory structure have the hair-like structures, not this nasal passage. This part have the hair-like structures. Those hair-like structures are called cilia. These cilia have the special functions. They trap or they stop the entry of the germs like bacteria, viruses, as well as infectious organisms and other structures or microorganisms. Those are trapped by the cilia or a hair-like structure present in the upper part of our respiratory tract. Whenever the person smokes, that smoke infects the cilia or the structure or hair-like structure, and they destroy the structure like a cilia. Whenever the cilia undergo destruction process, that air passage won't have any more cilia to prevent such germs or infectious organisms or dust particles. Those directly enter the lungs. In the lungs, those dust particles or germs may cause the infection, coughing and different illness in the human body, and finally it may cause the lung cancer. So, this is how the human respiratory system works and its structure. And at the end of the topic, you have questions. So, you write the answers for those questions and send it in the Google Classroom. And in the next part, in the life processes, that is transportation, that we will discuss in the next session. Thank you.